Welcome to my first video in the PSP Vault series, which will cover games for the handheld that are in my personal collection. I currently own somewhere around 60 games, and I'm still purchasing new ones as I find bargains at my local game shop and on the internet. The majority of games can be picked up now for very little money, with the exception of rare and desirable titles like RPGs. With this video series, I will be trying something new. On RMGB TV1, my main channel, I will be uploading an edited video up to 10 minutes in length, complete with a voiceover of my thoughts on the game. Then, on RMGB TV2, my other channel chiefly for Let's Play series, I will be uploading a much longer version of the video without background music or voiceover, in case you would like to see more of the game in question and hear what it sounds like. Anyway, enough yammering, let's start by taking a look at Sega Rally. The original Sega Rally Championship graced arcades in 1995, and it quickly became something of a sensation. The difficulty curve was extremely well designed, with the first course getting you used to the handling of the cars and the pace of the game, before ramping up gradually over the next 3 courses. Before you know it, you're hooked and inserting pound coin after pound coin. The game was chiefly the creation of Tetsuya Misaguchi, a designer at Sega AM3 who later went on to design some of my favourite music-based games of all time, Space Channel 5 1 and 2, Rez and Child of Eden. A home version of the first Sega Rally eventually came to the Sega Saturn, and it was a very faithful port. A few years later, a much improved sequel arrived in the arcades and then moved over to the Dreamcast in a greatly expanded form. It is this version of the game that I am most familiar with, having picked it up along with Sonic Adventure at the launch of the system and then played it for many an hour. Since then, there have been a few attempts to update the franchise, including a PS2 game that never made it out of Japan, a third arcade machine that I have never seen personally, and then this game that arrived in 2007 on Xbox 360, PS3 and of course the PSP, with development duties going to Sega Racing Studio on the home consoles and Bugbear for the handheld. Bugbear are probably most well known for their Flatout series, as well as the recent Ridge Racer Unbounded, which, as a die-hard Ridge Racer fan, I can't say I was all that keen. Sega Rally on the PSP fares much better though, in my opinion. First of all, it is a great looking game. It has an incredibly smooth frame rate, very vivid colours, and some great effects such as the waterfalls in the tropical tracks and pools of water across the tracks. This is then backed up by a great sensation of speed and handling that feels just right on the analog nub. Sound is competently handled with a bunch of tunes that aren't all that remarkable, and pace notes that are read out as you bomb around the stages, letting you know which direction the turns are and how severe they are. While the game is quite similar to the PS3 and Xbox 360 game, it is not identical. The track layouts are different, and there's an extra mechanic not present in the home version. Before each 3-race championship begins, you are given a breakdown of the surface types, as each track in the game has a certain ratio of tarmac, dirt and gravel, or mud. You then have to pick a tyre type, which you are committed to for all 3 races. I never pick road tyres personally, as you seem to have plenty of grip with one of the other types of tyre, so it's a choice between the other 2. I quite like this as it adds an extra tactical decision to the game. The single player campaign is quite nice and lengthy, with 3 divisions of car and then 4 difficulties within each of those, which are then broken down into championships. As you earn points in the first division, you unlock extra cars and eventually the second division, so you can then jump around between them if the later championships are starting to get a little challenging for you. They may be, as Sega Rally is quite a challenging game. Taking a look at Amazon and eBay, you can find a used copy of the game for between £5 and £10, which I would say is fair. The game is definitely up there with the best races on the PSP, which there are actually quite a lot of. I am hoping the Vita will eventually live up to its potential and be home to just as many amazing games as its predecessor. However, I think it still has a long way to go in this regard, and only time will tell if it can succeed or not. In the meantime, I have my library of classic PSP titles to fall back on.